What's up, guys? Danny here at Mullins Raw Fitness. Today's topic is an important one that most of us really struggle with, but something we don't handle very well. But it's a big epidemic. One of the reasons we have so many health issues in our society here, and one of the reasons it's very hard for us to struggle to reach our goals is it's a big roadblock for you trying to reach your ultimate strongest version of yourself, or looking for the epitome of health and becoming the best possible you can be, and that is stress. Okay, we're really stressed out here, and there's a lot of different reasons why, and we're going to go over that today. As you can see, my little guy, he's freaking out, he's stressed out, he's got too much going on right now, so he needs a little more balance in his life, right? Now, what is stress? Okay, stress is kind of hard to describe what it is because it is a lot about perception. Okay, stress could be completely different for two different people. I can use an example of, say, somebody eating wheat or gluten that can't tolerate it very well. It could be extremely stressful on the insides of that person, but somebody else that can digest it just fine, it's not stressful whatsoever. That's just a small indicator, to kind of what I mean by perception. Stress can be responded differently to different people. Some people can handle stress more than others, mainly, due to your health. If you're more in homeostasis, your body can handle a lot more stress loads. But perception, and the same thing with mental, emotional stress. Somebody saying something negative to me, I may take it, and say whatever and blow it off. For somebody else, it could ruin the rest of their day or week or whatever. So a lot of it is perception. Now, stress. How do we describe stress? What are we looking at here? Now, I'm going to break it up into two categories: internal and external stresses. And a lot of internal stresses are actually because of external stresses, but just the impact it has on the inside of the body, whether it be producing hormones, this and that. And external stresses are things that happen to you. And what these two are, you can break them down into 6 subcategories here. Okay, we're going to talk about physical stress. Physical stress could be, exercise. Exercise is a version of stress. And we have our little stress bucket here. Okay, so I'm going to describe kind of our little picture we have here. You can have good and bad stressors of each of these 6 subcategories. Okay, so we have physical stress, too much exercise, or good quality exercise. Chemical stressors, good stressors could be your body producing good hormones for energy production from the cells. That's a good chemical stress. Bad chemical stress could be, eating a fruit loaded with pesticides or herbicides. It's going to have a chemical response stress on the body. Electromagnetic, good electromagnetic stress could be sunlight from the sun. Get our vitamin D, very important. Negative or bad electromagnetic stress could be from having your phone on you all day, or sleeping with a bunch of electronics around you when you're sleeping at night. Psychic or mental stress could be bad, could be negative thinking, poor, stinking thinking. Positive could be the way you talk to yourself in a positive light, seeing yourself in a positive light, living your dream and seeing that. Nutritional stress could be poor quality food, could be not eating enough, could be eating too much. That is bad stress to the body. Good stress is just quality foods, whatever you're eating. Thermal stress could be being too hot or too cold, could be bad, and just good body temperature could be good. Now, all of these stresses are perceived in your body and looked at in your body through your nervous system. Your nervous system takes on all of these stresses. Now, it doesn't take each one individually. It all comes into our your body doesn't actually have a stress bucket, but for the sake of the argument, it all comes into what we're going to call today as a stress bucket. Your body all takes it into the nervous system, the autonomic nervous system, and decides what to do with it from there. And your body has a response from the stress, whether it be good or bad. And over time, getting a bunch of stress, good and bad, can be a lot onto the body and onto the nervous system. Now, the autonomic nervous system is broken down into two sections: the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Okay, so the sympathetic is your fight or flight response. It's your body telling it, hey, a lion just jumped out of the woods. I got to either fight this thing or I got to run for my life. So your sympathetic quickly kicks on. That's your stress hormones. You produce cortisol. Now, every day throughout your everyday life, you could be running from a lion. You could be stressing from finances, not good enough food, relationships, chlorinated water, medical drugs, poor sleep quality, too much or too little exercise, like we talked about in some of the ones before. Those all produce cortisol, a stress hormone, just like a lion jumping out of the woods would. And this can lead to chronic fatigue or disease, okay, and eventually death. And then you have your parasympathetic nervous system. That deals with a lot of things that you don't do naturally, like your metabolism, your digestion, your repair system, your body's ability to fight off things such as colds with your immune system. And this is very, very important. This deals with hormones such as melatonin, estrogen, testosterone, growth hormones, DHEA. And what we'll see is when we're overly stressed, we have too much bad stressors on our body. We have our little teeter-totter, our seesaw. We have excessive stress hormones, and anytime you're out of balance, your stress hormones are very high, you suppress all your repair hormones. So when cortisol levels are high, melatonin, estrogen, testosterone, growth hormone, and all the sorts, your metabolism is weakened or slowed down, your digestive is weakened, your repair system, your immune system is weakened. So now you're getting sick, now you can't fight off things, and you're developing a disease, you're developing an inflammation problem, just because you're getting too much stress on the body. This is not good. We need to be in balance, right? Our yin and our yang. We need to have our just as much yin as we do yang. But in our society, we have too much yang going on. We're too go, go, go all the time. Okay? So, is stress good or bad? Well, we're meant to have stress. We're meant to have short durational periods of stress. Running from the lion. That is good for us. That is good. You have a deadline. I need to quickly, I need to get this done. I need to get it, taken care of. That can all be good stress. As we talked about, there is good stress to the body. The problem, or where it becomes bad, is looking back at this, is when we have an overabundance. So we have all these stresses coming into our stress buckets. Okay, your autonomic nervous system takes all those stresses. Okay, you could be getting all your stress from nutrition. Okay, it's coming in here. And you see my little pipe way of kitchen sinks or bathroom sinks. All this stress is coming in, and now we're getting issues with our bones or joints. We're getting issues with our emotional patterns. Okay, and it's overflowing. You can see the stress is overflowing. It's going in and out of the system, and now all of a sudden it's starting to overflow in the hormones and the organs. So you could be getting physical stress like too much exercise, and all of a sudden you're getting emotional problems, organ problems. It doesn't have to be just stress on a specific organ, and that it's specific where it'll only affect that organ. That's not how your body works. It takes it and utilizes it all at once. So a lot of times when we develop osteoporosis or any of these inflammation issues or digestive issues or any of that, we don't look at root causes. We look at symptoms and think it's exactly, or if I have a bone issue or a joint issue, I think it's just coming from that bone or joint issue, instead of realizing that my bone or joint issue could be because I have hormonal issues and it's causing an overflow, and it just so happens to be overflowing in too much stress and is causing issues in the bone or joint. I hope that makes sense with what I'm trying to say with that. But it's all interconnected. It all works together. The internal and external stresses on the body is associated to the autonomic nervous system, and the autonomic nervous system calculates all the stress out and then has a response to it. And if we're over sympathetic dominance, we start to see a lot of issues. We need to be balanced with our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So with that, what do we need to do? What steps do we need to take to get more balance? Well, first we need to look at identify your primary stressor. Okay, what's causing all this stress? Look at your 6 different types of stressors. Okay, which ones are you having too much bad stress, and try to get more good stress out of that. Okay, look at some of usually a lot of your reptilian needs, your safety and security. Do you feel safe and secure? Or do you have financial issues? What can we do to improve that? What can we do? Because if we're getting that at the base support, your hierarchy needs, it's going to cause issues everywhere up the chain. Okay? Then we need to develop a plan to combat that primary stress. What can we do different? What can we do to make a change? Because I think it was I can't remember the quote by Einstein, but whatever it was, keep doing the same thing, you're gonna keep getting the same result, right? So we need to look at that and make a plan. What is your dream? What is your legacy? What are you trying to be remembered for? What makes you happy on this earth? What are your values and what do you value in life? And look at that. And if you're not in line with your dream or your legacy, then you're going to have a lot of stress on your plate, and you need to be in line with your dream. Maybe it's to raise a family, and that's fine. That's great, fantastic. You need to do things that make decision. Maybe you're dealing with an addiction problem. You're drinking alcohol every day, and is that alcohol going to help you eventually have a child one day? Maybe not. Maybe it's causing other issues like hormonal issues, and now all of a sudden you can't get pregnant. So we need to look at, are we in line with our dream? If your dream is to have a child, is that decision of drinking alcohol every day in line with my dream? Probably not. Okay. Then we need to get regular movement. It doesn't have to be high intensity. Remember, too much physical exercise can be detrimental. It can be too much stress. So we need to look at working out. But if our body's telling us we're stressed out and we're tired, remember, too much sympathetic response leads to chronic fatigue. So we need to look at if we're overworking, do more working in, do Tai Chi, do our breathing exercises, our zone exercises Paul Chek uses, or even just light walking. We're with not getting our heart rate up, or stretching, yoga, restorative yoga. All those can be very beneficial and are still movements. So don't think, I have to work out, have to work out, have to work out. It has to be intense. That's not the case. Okay, eat right. Nutrition can be a good or bad stress. Make sure you're eating quality food so your body has the energy to combat stresses. How do you make stress hormones? Your body needs cholesterol. If you lack cholesterol, your body won't have the proper nutrients to make stress hormones. Then if you can't make stress hormones, remember, if you're too much cortisol going on in the body, okay, this is elevated, this is depressed, so now your metabolism's going to be limited. Your digestion, your sex hormones are going to be limited. So it's very important to eat right and make sure you're getting the proper types of nutrients for your body. And lastly, mental exercises. Looking at the law of attraction, you are and your reality is what you think about most. So what do you spend your time thinking? If you're constantly thinking negatively all the time, you're gonna resonate with that, and you're gonna see that kind of life in front of you, which is very, very stressful. Okay, so start using affirmations. Talk to yourself in a positive manner. See yourself in a positive light. Visualize, and use a gratitude log, and make a change so we stop having to be stressed. You don't have to look like this guy up here all the time. Okay, let's be healthy. Let's make a change. Revitalize ourselves. Revitalize athletic wellness. That's what we're here for today. Make a change, guys. Be less stressed. Do some breathing. I'll see you next time.